Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Morgan. Today's episode, we are going to go a little bit deep. Okay. This name of the show is Let's Get Vulnerable after all. This is going to be a vulnerable share. I'm going to tell you where I'm at as I am preparing to get married. I cannot believe it. My wedding is happening in about 90 days. I am marrying the most incredible man. He is emotionally available, so loving, so kind. I am just blown away all the time by how our relationship is actually healing me in ways that I never even knew that needed to be healed. And just the way that he cares for me, shows up for me, he's unshakable. I refer to him as my rock, and he is. And we have this incredible relationship. And I'm so excited to marry him. I've never been more confident about something in my life. And it took me time to get here. Obviously, we do not have a perfect relationship. We've never had a perfect relationship. But I know that I took my time. I did what I tell my clients to do. I gathered the data on this man. We have been through so many things together, and he is without a doubt an incredible partner, the person I want to build my life with. Oh, I'm very emotional. I feel like I cry. I just feel this peace and this sense of I am on the right path. This is the right person. And I've never had that before, even though I have been engaged before. I have been almost to the I do moment of walking down the aisle and left the relationship. And I can tell you that it was the right thing to do. This is the level of security, safety, peace, absolute deep knowing in my bones that this is the person. I've never felt this before. So I am celebrating my own journey, knowing that, wow, I'm 90 days away from this commitment. And it's not even about the end goal. I want to just bring that home for you all. It's not about, oh, she got the guy, she's getting married, so now she's successful. I never want to be one of those, relationship coaches that I see online where it's like all they do is talk about their wedding and oh, they got the guy. It's like, no, it's actually not about that. That's a wonderful bonus, but it is about who I became in the process. It's about the version of me with a regulated nervous system who let go of childhood trauma, who let go of past relational trauma, who knows how to show up securely attached, who can communicate in an assertive, securely attached way. That's what it's about, not about getting married. Getting married is a beautiful thing. And there are lots of people who get married who didn't take the time to become the securely attached version of themselves, right? If getting married was the goal, y'all would be all married and that would be it, right? Like getting married is easy, okay? The real thing that we want is a marriage with a securely attached foundation where you have a regulated nervous system, you love who you are able to attract someone who's loving and kind and emotionally attuned and wants to be your partner and wants to care for you, right? Like that's the real goal, is that you become that version of you that obviously you attract a healthy marriage where it becomes easy, it becomes effortless, and it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right? And I'm celebrating the version of me that feels peaceful, that knows that she's making the right decision, that is moving forward towards a wedding date with calm and peace and joy. Thank you, God. I have had, like I said, past experiences where I had made a commitment, supposed to be walking down the aisle, and waking up feeling ready to puke, not being able to sleep at night, the constant like shaking, physical shaking. I'm having flashbacks of this time in my life. It was hell. I mean, I can remember those instances. There's two in particular. And it was hell. It was like that ambivalence of do I, don't I, right? is this the right person? Is it not? And like I said, it's not that my relationship has been perfect. I never want to give that image. We are not perfect, never have been, never will be. Perfect is a lie. If you see anyone that they are trying to claim that they have a perfect relationship, just know that that's a lie, and it's probably actually indicative of an unhealthy relationship if you're claiming perfection. So I've never been perfect. And at the same time, any kind of fear or doubts or anything that came up in our relationship over the last 4 years, we have worked through it together as a team. We have come together. I've gotten the answers I needed. I've gotten the data. I've gathered the data that this person not only is going to hear me, but is also going to take in what I have to say, and we're going to work on things together. And I've done the same for him, right? We have grown together. We've created secure attachment. I am thrilled, and I am feeling very, very joyful these days, which is why I have been so called to help you all. And I'm so excited about the Empowered, Secure, Loved program. We have a new round right now. And if you are listening to this, I want you to know we have an incredible founders offer. This is the lowest rate the program has ever been and probably ever will be. Also being sensitive with people needing access to do this work. And maybe there's a little bit of like, oh, I don't know if I can afford it, whatever. I have made this so accessible to you to where finances will not get in the way of you doing this work. Because once again, I'm on a mission just to help as many people as possible. I know what it's like to go through the pain of failed relationship after failed relationship, or to be single and be feeling alone and feeling like all my friends are in relationships and I can't even talk to my friends anymore about my dating life because I feel like I'm a downer and they're not giving me good advice. And I just feel like I need to give up on love. Like, I've been there. I don't want you to go through that. So I'm making the program so accessible right now, but this offer does go away June 1st. So if you're listening to this, it's a sign. Now is the time. Go apply to the program. The link is in the show notes. I would love to be mentoring you. I am really stepping in, and you inside the program, you get weekly time with me where you can ask me anything. I want to make that clear. Like, this is a supportive container where you do get access to me, and I'm here to support you. So I would love to hear your story, help you through whatever you need to let go of so that you can then step into that secure version of you. And this is the time. Don't wait. Let's have a securely attached summer, not a sabotage summer. We're done with sabotage summer. Go to the link in the show notes and apply. All right. Today, I know I've started talking about becoming secure, being in this place where I'm so excited to get married. Um, I want to tell you this. It wouldn't have been possible if I had not dealt with my childhood trauma. I want to focus on that today because I think there's a lot of you listening who kind of know that you have childhood trauma. It's like, yeah, I know some really difficult things happened to me, but you don't actually know what to do with it. And you don't even fully understand how it's impacting you. So I want to dive a little bit into that and give you some signs of maybe how you can tell if your childhood trauma is impacting you, okay, and maybe you don't even logically realize it. So I want to kind of open up that box a little bit with love and care. I know that this can be a really painful thing to think about. When I really connect to my inner child, like 5-year-old Morgan, the version of me who, lost my mom, the version of me who had so much chaos and pain. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, some new realizations I've had. That version of me, when I go and I think about her and what she went through, I get so emotional because I think about my niece who is now 6 years old, same age I was when I was going through a lot of trauma. And I think about how, if that was happening to her, it's like I can feel a lot more emotion when I think about my niece versus little me. It's interesting how that is, right? And that's true for so many of us that we have a harder time connecting to ourselves in a way. But if you can imagine someone who you love dearly and you would do anything to protect them, and then you can imagine that, wow, they were that age and maybe they were going through the things that you had to go through, and then how you would respond, let me tell you, it is like I get so sad and I get so protective, and there's even anger. And those are things that never was able to access when I was just thinking about my inner child. So you might try that out, but I just think about it and I look back, and as I'm 35 now, halfway through my 30s here, I'm an elder millennial, and I look back, I have more realizations now than I used to in the past about what I was going through, what that experience was like. And I have had to do continued healing of my childhood trauma. I want you to realize, like, when you first get started on your healing journey, it is like this closet in your home that you've stuffed everything away in. There's so much stuff that you've never dealt with. You've never looked at it. It is just stuffed in that closet. You go open the closet door, it all comes crashing down on top of you. And it's just this mountain of stuff. It can feel really overwhelming. You're sitting in all of this trauma. You're sorting through it. It's the emotional labor that you go through initially, and then you feel a lightness. You cleaned everything out, right? You're like, oh, I'm feeling so much better. The initial uh, processing, and I'm honestly, I'm thinking about the people who go through the Empowered Secure Love program, and I myself have gone through this process. I don't take clients through anything that I haven't gone through myself. When you go through it, it is that emotional labor. You're clearing out a lot. And guess what? The relief, the way you feel after, amazing. You have so much energy. There's a lightness. There's so much hope. You're connected to who you want to be, the vision that you have for your life. You've cleared out a lot of the trauma. And surprise, it is a lifelong process, right? So you get, I want to say, 90% better, and there's so much you've let go of. And what ends up happening is that you will find things that come up along the way. There will be memories, there will be things that were suppressed, things that you had forgotten, things that you had never seen in a certain way before that will then come to you even after you've done that initial processing. So let's just all normalize that healing takes a lifetime. It's actually a skill that you have to learn, right? And there's things inside of the process that I teach that I do every single year, right? I'm going in and I'm doing my own teaching on belief work. Yes, it's really awkward watching me teach me, but honestly, it's just how I do it and it gets it done, okay? But I am doing that at least once a year because I know that it's never done, right? There's always things that are going to come up. So you clear out the closet, you are feeling so much better, you're going about your life, and then things still come up. But the beautiful thing is that once you make that commitment and you've done that process once and you've learned how to sit with the trauma, feel through it, and then intentionally let it go. Once you've learned that process, then when it comes up again, you're able to deal with it, right? So I want to give you a personal example of one of the realizations that I'm having as this dating chapter is closing, and kind of showing you how I'm working through it and understanding my childhood trauma and how it impacted me. And then I'm going to walk you through some of the signs that maybe some of your own childhood trauma is getting in the way in your current dating life. Okay. So I'm going to lead by example here. My trauma that I kind of recently reconnected to was what was really happening to me in my brain as I was about an 8-year-old child. And at this time, um, I had lost my mom, and I have a whole episode that goes into all the details. If you're like, Dr. Morgan, I need to know, all the details, just shoot me a DM on Instagram and it'll tell you, I'll give you the link. But anyways, I had lost my mom, and then my dad had moved my sister and I to the Seattle area. And he had a new girlfriend who then became his wife. And unfortunately, this woman had a lot of mental health issues. And I say that with love and compassion. I legitimately know she was really, really struggling. She had no capacity for children. She couldn't take care of herself, let alone children. And this was someone who really forced my sister and I to be homeschooled for a period of time. So wouldn't let us leave the house. I'm 8 years old, lost my mom. My sister and I are in this new place. Now we can't go to public school. She would have us do a lot of the chores in the home. So vacuuming and cleaning the bathrooms and sometimes, preparing dinner and doing all the laundry and washing the floors. And, it's a little bit like a Cinderella story, guys, okay? We were really treated like second class citizens in the home. And I'm realizing this even more and more because what happened was, eventually, um, my dad and his new wife, they had a daughter. And for example, the daughter was given all these new toys and she would get all her like new fancy clothes. They would go to a department store. Meanwhile, my sister and I, if we wanted something, it was coming from Goodwill or we were having to earn it. We were having to have a, $5 allowance that we earned through chores and we'd have to buy something. We never got anything new. We never got new clothes. I was a young girl who didn't have her mom to teach her how to brush her hair, how to do skincare, how to do all of those like maintenance things that you need to do. I remember getting made fun of in school because I stunk because no one had taught me about deodorant. Okay. Like nobody taught me. I had horrible acne. Nobody was helping me with how do you wash your face. And the realization that I had recently was that time in my life just really had wired in my brain that I wasn't good enough to receive care and nurturing. And it also had made me believe that I just needed to not take up space, be seen, not heard, not try to be disruptive, because that was another thing too that um my stepmom had done is she would kind of tell us like, oh, you guys are being too loud. You need to stay up in your room until noon. You're not able to leave your room. She always had just kind of made us seem like a burden. That's really what my brain started to believe was that I was a burden and that I shouldn't take up space and that I wasn't good enough in some way, but other people were, and I'm certainly not blaming my half sister. That was not her doing, but she was treated very differently than my sister and I. So my child brain really, really had believed, don't take up space, don't be too much. You're a burden to take care of. Just accept whatever's given to you. Um, and what ended up happening, obviously, I took my childhood unfinished business, this being a big part of it, and that was playing out in my adult romantic relationships. And there's one relationship in particular that I have had a lot of closure on recently. And I haven't really talked about it on the podcast because I haven't processed it. You guys, I try not to talk about things that I haven't processed myself because I don't think it's fair to me, right? And it's not fair to you. I don't want to bring you into the messiness of something that I haven't processed myself. So there's stuff that I definitely haven't shared on here intentionally, but this relationship is one of them. And I started thinking about it. And I was realizing that in that relationship, I was very much acting like that 8-year-old girl of, I'm not good enough. I am so lucky that this person is giving me attention. I should do whatever this person wants. I should be, a lot of anxious attachment. This was an early significant relationship for me of I just need to change myself, be whoever this person wants me to be. I cannot take up too much space. I'm going to be abandoned, right? But then also realizing that in that relationship, anytime this person really tried to tell me that they loved me or tried to take care of me or tried to give to me, I would push it away. I would sabotage it. I would ruin it by doing something. It was a very interesting dynamic of, please don't abandon me. But then if you come too close, I don't like that either. And I'm going to push you away and I'm going to sabotage it. This was my disorganized attachment patterns, both the anxious and avoidant playing out at the same time. Right. And it's the 8-year-old girl saying, I'm not worthy of love. Um, there's something wrong with me. I'm a burden. You shouldn't even have to be with me. I'm going to make it just so easy to be with me. Right. But then if you actually come close, I'm not used to that. Right. If you actually tell me, oh, I do want you, I do want to be with you, that doesn't feel right to me either. So how do I sabotage it? How do I push you away? Right. That is what was going on in that relationship. And I even found recently old emails between myself and this person. And there was an email that he had sent where he had said, you know, it's like every time I get close to you, you tend to pull away. And when I pull away, you come after me. And he was right. He was absolutely right. And this was a person who had a lot of emotional unavailability. Classic what I was attracted to at that time. Very emotionally unavailable, but he was trying. He was trying. This was not an unhealthy relationship in the sense of like any kind of emotional abuse or no, it was actually a it was one of the healthier relationships I was in. However, the attachment dynamics were still not healthy. We were never able to get to that place where we chose each other at the same time. How many of you relate to that? Where you're in that relationship for whatever reason, you don't ever get to the place where you're both fully in at the same time, where you're both fully committed. And I know I said for whatever reason, but I'll tell you why. It's because of your attachment patterns and your unhealed childhood trauma, right? So that was this relationship for me. It was like we were never both fully in. And I hadn't understood it until recently. And I was connecting the dots of 8-year-old Morgan and what was going on. Um, so I share with you this example because this is the kind of thing that you can know this stuff logically. Maybe you've even been to therapy. A lot of the people I work with, they've been to therapy for years. You can know it logically. It's a different thing to actually feel it in your body and to be able to release it from your body and release it from your belief systems so that you can show up securely attached, right? So I told you a little bit of my story there. I want to make this applicable to you. Let's end this episode with about 7 signs, I have them written down, that you may be experiencing the effects of childhood trauma in your adult romantic relationships. Okay. So obviously, I'm sending you so much love if you relate to these. I also want you to know I think you're really deserving of rewiring your brain. And just have an open mind. Maybe you are going to take some notes, or maybe you're going to actually close your eyes if you're not driving and just listen to me talk about these and see if there's any that you connect to. Okay. So these are signs that your childhood trauma is impacting your love life. Number one, it's fear of abandonment is coming up. And even in your stable relationships, maybe it's even in your healthy friendships, and you have fear of abandonment coming up. The second sign, you might be feeling anxious or shut down if someone is getting emotionally close to you. So if a relationship is getting more serious, the intimacy is deepening, maybe you're sharing things about your past, or you're talking about the things you want for the future, or you're getting more vulnerable, but then you're finding yourself feeling really anxious or even shut down. The third sign, if you find yourself over analyzing texts, communication, their social media. Maybe you're even over analyzing the words that they're using or their tone of voice. I hear that one a lot. If you find yourself in that over analyzing place, it's usually a sign that there is that trauma from the past that is showing up in the present, and you're not approaching the relationship with a blank slate. You're approaching the relationship with the data that you've had from past relationships. Okay. The fourth sign, if you are the over responsible person in all of your relationships, maybe you are the one that is over giving. You might even be the parentified partner where you're feeling like you have to do all the emotional labor, do all the planning, make all the decisions, right? That's telling me that you're bringing childhood unfinished business. The fifth sign, this is so important. I talk about this a lot when it comes to repetition, compulsion, and the way that we choose partners. The fifth sign is that you're just choosing partners who mirror inconsistency, right? They're mirroring the inconsistency and the chaos of childhood relationship dynamics. So, always picking that person who's not really available, always picking the long distance person, always picking the person who's fresh out of a marriage and they're just recently separated. If you are picking these people and it is mirroring the inconsistency of childhood relationships. Sign number 6, you are really struggling to trust. Even if this person is incredibly kind, they're showing up consistently, it's stable, you have all the green flags, and you still find yourself being unable to trust. That tells me that you're still carrying that past trauma. And the final sign, this is an important one, is that you find yourself sabotaging healthy relationships just because they feel unfamiliar. So you are ending a healthy relationship, pulling away from a healthy relationship, saying that it's boring, saying that, oh, there's just no chemistry, right? And it's because your nervous system is not used to being in a healthy, stable, securely attached relationship. That is a sign that we're carrying childhood trauma. Okay. So, obviously, what are some of the things that can help you if you're like, yep, I relate to these. I had all 7 signs, or I had 1 or 2 or 3, right? If you had any of the signs, I want you to think about, what do you have to actually do to heal? And obviously, it goes back to number 1, we have to revisit the past. We actually do have to revisit the past, but through the lens of the emotionally available adults, through the lens of the adult version who knows their worth and can make sense of the past in a different way and write a different narrative that the child who experienced the trauma was not able to create. Okay, so we have to revisit the past. We have to do a lot of inner child work, right? I talked to you a little bit about that. There's also the importance of this, of rewiring your belief systems, because you created beliefs that guide your behaviors, your decisions, that guide who you're attracted to. You made beliefs based on your relational experiences, and the beliefs are kind of like, they are the GPS system for how you're navigating relationships. They're telling you which way to go, who to be attracted to, how to date, etc. And if we don't fix the beliefs, you're always going to end up at the same destination, right? So we have to rewire the beliefs. And then obviously the identity shift, becoming securely attached, not just in your brain, not just knowing what you're supposed to do, but actually being able to embody secure attachment with a regulated nervous system, showing up secure, creating that secure identity. All right. And then this is, I think, part of what I've mentioned, but this deserves its own bullet point, is really stepping into your worthiness, healing your self-worth. knowing in your bones that you are enough, not just in a logical way, but in an embodied, confident, knowing you are enough no matter what. You've always been enough. You will always be enough. There is something so powerful that happens when you can make that shift in your body. You're no longer looking for external validation. You're no longer looking for someone to come along and say, oh, I choose you. I want to be with you. And then waiting for that to be the thing that makes you feel enough, right? You're not filling a void. When you are confident, when you know that you are enough, a relationship is simply a multiplier of the love that you have for yourself. It is not there to fill the void. It's not there to make you feel happy. The relationship gets to add to your happiness. It gets to add to the love that you have in your life. Okay. Um, these are some of the shifts that are absolutely necessary. And if you resonated with those and you're like, yep, I know I need to do it, I want you to go apply to the Empowered, Secure, Loved program. We have really limited spots left, but this is the time. Honestly, there's not going to be a better time. Like, this is it. Let's go. Let's do this work now. I think some of you are like, oh, I just want to focus on improving my dating profile. Or maybe I should just hire a matchmaker, or I haven't tried match.com yet, right? Like, you think of all these like things that you can do that are external. And I know some of you are like, well, I'm just going to focus on getting hot AF and I'm going to work out in the gym and I'm going to get all of these, I'm going to go get Botox and lashes. And hey, I get it. I've been there. Like, this belief that, oh, once I'm beautiful enough, then the guys are going to want me. Let me tell you this once again, that's all external stuff, and that is not going to get you the results that you want. If you are wanting emotionally available, loving, securely attached relationship that lasts, where you have a regulated nervous system, you feel chosen, you feel cherished, this is the person you can be with for a lifetime. If that's the kind of thing that you want, you got to do the internal work. You got to do it. It starts with rewiring your brain on an internal level. Okay. How do I know? I tried all the external things. Of course I did, right? Like, who didn't try all that stuff? Like, well, yeah, just try a different approach or just do your hair different or whatever. It's like, sure, we've all tried that. It doesn't work. You have to change yourself internally in order to get the result that you want. And I say that with all the love and compassion in the world. I would love to be your guide. All you have to do, go to the link in the show notes and apply. Once again, we have really limited spots and we have an incredible offer that is going away. So go grab your spot. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, I just want you to know I really appreciate this community. There's a lot of really exciting things coming your way. I did a poll on my Instagram stories the other day and I was asking you all, what do you want to learn from me next? And there was some really great results there that were helping me decide what is the next thing I want to create for you. So this is going to be a really exciting time for me. And of course, you all know I do this podcast because I care about you, because I want you to be able to heal. I want you to have access to the no BS relationship information that I wish I had access to in my 20s. Okay. There's a lot of fluff out there online, on Instagram, and there's a lot of people that are actually taking information and sort of using it to their benefit to try to manipulate people. I'm not going to name any names, but I see posts all the time that it's like, oh, how to get the avoidant man to love you, or the 10 text sequence that you need to send if you are attracted to, the anxiously attached partner. It's like, no, 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 no. All these kind of marketing grabby type stuff. And it's like, actually, let's focus on becoming securely attached, actually healing inside, right? Please don't subscribe to any of the fluff talk that you see that's all about how to quote unquote play the games of dating. Games don't really work. They don't work. They're just exhausting. They make for really fun stories. They make for a good story to share with your girlfriends at brunch, but we're over that, right? We're stepping into the healed, regulated nervous system, secure version of you. That's what I want for you. All right? I am sending you so much love. Thank you for giving me this space to share with you all. I know I was kind of vulnerable today, so I just appreciate having this space and this community. You all are amazing. And of course, as always, I'm wishing you high self-worth and great relationships.